Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the biggest stars of theatre, TV, and of course on the road with Wicked. And we've got one for you today. Aaron Sidwell, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Must be great to be you right now, to leave an amazing soap for an amazing show where you're the guy that gets the girl and gets to sing the amazing songs. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Thank you. I suppose the looks I have to thank my parents for, really, and their genetic makeup. But yeah, the more charismatic you can be as Fiyero, the more you just win people over, because you need to have it in Act 1 in order for it to matter in Act 2. And so, the more kind of charismatic and fun and silly and charming you can be, just that almost kind of like you can't help but like that character, the more you win over the audience in Act 2.
And what a career you've had. I mean, you shot to fame on Eastenders. You were there a long time, and then you went away and did the West End and musical theatre, and now you're in this. It's sort of a dream career, really, isn't it?
My first job was Eastenders. I was there, went into the theatre, went back. I've come back to theatre, but I grew up in theatre. My family are theatre actors. I learnt my craft more in the theatre than I did in a TV studio. I learned how to do EastEnders, but I didn't necessarily learn how to do every medium of TV acting, and I certainly don't feel like I've learned every medium in theatre acting, but this is one particularly that I have kind of honed my craft in, and it was lovely to be asked to come and do something so big, because everything I've done is so niche, that to kind of come here and be part of something so monstrous in its fan base and monstrous in size. I'm sure you've been down to the set and down to wardrobe and seen how big it all is backstage, and the amount of people backstage per show and stuff is something that I've never ever seen before. So it was a real honour to kind of come and do this, and to do it on tour as well. The reaction on tour is incredible. I know that they have a great reaction in London, but I think the reaction that we get on tour is even bigger. And so that was a real selling point for me.
I also think the sound and the intimacy of these theatres outweighs the Victoria, which is such a Goliath building. I mean, it sort of loses something, whereas on tour, I saw it in Birmingham, I saw it in Newcastle, I think I saw it somewhere else. It's so beautiful, and the sound's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in shows where we've had one sound guy and a backcloth, and we haven't got this bit of set today, we haven't got this bit of set today. This has all been very carefully thought out and constructed by Playful and by Universal, and every department is covered and more than covered. They've got swings for it, and I think that one of the struggles that they have, particularly when it comes to sound at the Apollo, is that it was a cinema. It wasn't a purpose-built theatre, and a lot of these theatres, not necessarily this one, but you think about some of the ones in town, like the Garrick, they were designed for when people weren't using microphones, and so you stand on the stage and the place feels massive, but at the same time it feels like the audience are right on top of you. Even when they're in the ground, they're right on top of you, and so they're very purpose-built theatres for these kind of storytelling shows.
What's it like being you? I mean, to have success at a young age and to be on telly for most of your life and in the theatre, you've never known a time when you're not really famous, have you?
The interesting thing for me is I've never really wanted to be famous as such. It's wonderful to have recognition for work that I'm proud of, and with that I mean things like American Idiot. People come up to me and say, I saw you in American Idiot, as much as they come up and say about EastEnders, and so that's a really, really nice thing, is to have recognition for work that I'm really, really proud of, and gained the respect, worked hard to gain the respect of my peers and my industry, and that's what I'm always kind of striving for. And it is mad, don't get me wrong, with my whole life from the age of 18 just sort of imploding. It's crazy, and I do have to find my normal, and find my grounded, and find my happy place that I can just run away back to.
Right. And what is that? Where are you at your happiest?
Just at home.
Right.
I found my home, and my girls and my cats, and just sitting there and just chilling in front of the fire is kind of my reset button, where I can just kind of get back in touch with myself and who I am, especially when you get swept up on the road like this, doing a tour. Your whole world becomes work, and so it's good for me to kind of be able to hit my reset button and touch base with myself again.
Did you think for a second when they offered it to you, is this anything I want, or was it just too big to turn down?
It was something that I'd kind of put to bed, and then when the discussion kind of came back up again, I was like, are we really going to have this discussion again? This one particularly, are we going to have this one again? And so, you know, I kind of got talked into it, and to kind of go and, you know, see the team again, and I'm really, really glad that I did, because I think when I actually started to look more into the piece, when it you know was becoming a reality, and I looked more into the piece, there was actually more to him than I thought, a lot more to him than I thought. I think because when we think about Wicked, we think about the girls. He can become this very dispensable character, and that for me was where I saw the challenge, was making him an indispensable character to this story, into this show, and every night that's kind of the challenge that's, you know, presented in front of me, is to make people care for him, right, and want him to be okay, and to find his happy ending, and so far I think that's what I'm achieving. It's
a 2018 story. That's what's amazing. Even though it's not new, it's about acceptance and popularity, literally.
Yeah, and segregation. I think it's so absolutely so relevant, and I think we have a huge problem. I think that we have a difficulty understanding difference in our own society, and I think we're quite a, you know, liberal, free-thinking society as British people. But we still have a problem understanding difference. We still have a problem understanding people that aren't necessarily, whose brains aren't designed and made up for school between the ages of, you know, 4 and 18. Some people really kind of come into their own in their 20s and want a thirst for knowledge that, you know, and it's I think what we're finding with this piece, and what you see in a lot of young people when they come and watch this piece, is that it not only is it okay to be different, it actually will be the thing that makes you special. Yeah. Is that you're different. Those differences that you don't want to have at whatever age that you are going to be the thing that one day will make you special.
Going from doing TV where you're waiting around all day to having to do 8 shows a week must be tough. Are you enjoying that part of it, that you've actually got something to do regularly and you get to shine at least twice a day, twice a week?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the tricky things with EastEnders was you were either not busy at all, or so run off your feet that you couldn't possibly stop and think about anything else in life. And so I always missed the schedule, and particularly it always felt strange that people were asking me to act at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yes. And really intense stuff as well.
Doing a night scene at 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do this. This is, you know, so it is quite nice to kind of slip back into that rhythm and the camaraderie, you know, you feel in a company, and the togetherness that you have. It's Elstree is a very big place with a lot of people doing 1,000,001 jobs, and so you know, you separate up into little factions, and here we're just a nice big team, and it's nice to be part of a team.
And it literally is a bubble that's going on tour for the next 2 years. I guess this is what it is. Every night you try and find something new and different about him to bring to the party to save any of that sort of rot getting in.
Yeah, I think you have to bring in a certain element of where you are in that day, and you in that day, and how you're feeling. And I don't like manufacturing emotion, because I think you can see it being manufactured, and so it allows you. I find thinking like that allows me to open up various choices. If I'm feeling particularly angry or annoyed one day, that can be an approach that I bring into a certain scene, and that kind of element helps keep you on your toes, and helps the other actors stay on their toes as well, because they don't quite know what they're going to get.
I love that. Aaron Sidwell, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on everything, and I can't wait to see you in about an hour and a half.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Thank you.